The other thing we've talked a little bit about is Kenny Pickett, currently the only quarterback on the roster. We'll see how long that is for. You did a film breakdown of Kenny Pickett. Take us through what you see with Kenny Pickett and strengths and some of the concerns, just like you did with Will Howard.
Yeah, very much a spot thrower. I kind of tried to take a look at what he did last year with Philly because he got some opportunity late in the year as Jalen Hurts went down, and it's a lot of what he was in Pittsburgh. I don't think there's really a clean ability to work through reads. He doesn't stay calm and collected in the pocket. Will sometimes run into his own pressure, create his own pressure because too often he doesn't work through the pocket to navigate to a second or third option. And, again, when you get into those dicey situations, he cannot seem to find answers down the field that involve throwing it. So I think a spot thrower who, if he has a simple read, is a half field read. What I mean by is he's just reading the two receivers on the left side. He's got a chance to be effective. He can throw it up the sidelines. I think he does throw it up the sidelines fairly well. Deep throws, has had some success with that dating back to Pittsburgh. And I certainly think that there's an ability for him to navigate the middle of the field if it's within the structure of what they're asking him to do. But again, what has caused him fits in the NFL? Well, pressure stuff makes him uncomfortable and makes him make some pretty ugly decisions. And really what we're talking about, the difference between average to the great in the NFL is how do you navigate the chaos that is NFL pockets? And he's just not able to do that. And so anytime you're in third and what I call third and pass, which is third and predictable, you got to throw it to get this first down, usually 3rd and 6+. I just don't have a lot of faith in him to find those navigate those difficult situations, navigate those, hey, we took away your best option. We knew your primary. Can you get to the third guy? That's where he struggles. So as a baseline backup, I think that there's some potential to just be adequate if you have a strong unit around him like was in Philly. He can sort of point guard that thing into some points, put some points on the board. His wide receivers can do some work for him. But the reason I was kind of against the trade primarily initially is he's not as accurate as I'd like him to be in the shallow and intermediate portions of the field. That's inconsistent at best, mixed in with the inability to really handle pocket chaos and movement coverages that can confuse him pre to post. I just don't see the upside. I probably would have rather taken a trade like that and maybe used like a Malik Willis in Green Bay or a Joe Milton from New England, who are those guys that are kind of toolsy and have some upside that you could maybe mold. But they went the direction of Pickett. I think they think he can navigate a little bit of the half field read stuff that Kevin can make a bit more simplistic for him. And we'll see. Ultimately, think they could have done a little better there, but Kenny will be, at minimum, he's very cheap, and I think that was an appeal to them in the last year of his rookie contract. So he's very cheap and has a slew of starts under his belt and has been around NFL football for a while. So I think if you're going into the season with Kenny Pickett as your starting quarterback, and that's like the firm plan, I'm nervous about that, but ultimately, I think could you do worse here? I certainly think Dorian Thompson-Robinson was a worse version of this, so you could do worse. I am like, as we looked at that depth chart that you presented, it's not a comfortable thing to think like, oh, the Browns are trying to win football games this year, and they're starting Kenny at quarterback for more than half the season. That's just not a great proposition to me.